On behalf of the University College Tilburg and Tilburg University, I want to say a very warm welcome to all of you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Emily de Vet. I'm a professor at this university and the Dean of the University College Tilburg. And today we are here together to celebrate our new graduates, to celebrate their academic achievements. And today is filled with pride. You as family, partners, friends, you must be very proud of what your beloved one has achieved. But the same also goes for us, for our staff, lecturers, study advisors, everybody who contributes to the program. Also for us, this day is a big highlight. In any minute, the fresh graduates will enter this hall. And as soon as the doors will open and the graduates enter, I want to invite you to stand up and give us and join us in giving them a warm applause. Welcome to the class of 2023.
Hush not, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your destination. Though you may find from time to time complication. You cannot slip. Just move on up. For peace you find into the steeple of beautiful people where there's only one kind. So hush not, child.
Congratulations with your well-deserved degrees. All the degrees have been conferred of you in the previous session, and you have signed the degrees, and you are now officially a University College graduate with a bachelor's degree. It's a fantastic achievement. It took you years of effort, of dedication, and you have completed your programs under very difficult circumstances. I think that you are the generation that was hit the hardest by COVID-19, and almost all of your programs have been suffering from these circumstances. That you all stand now here with a degree in your hand shows a great amount of perseverance. And to highlight this transition in your life, we will engage with the Tassel tradition. And with moving the Tassel tradition of the Tassel, it means that you move it from the right side of your cap to the front left side of the cap, and thereby we visually express the achievement of you earning a degree. I'm going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, you will all simultaneously move the tassel from the right side to the left side. Are you ready? Yes? There it goes. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Congratulations, graduates. And on behalf of you graduates, I also want to say a few words of thanks to all others in the audience. First of all, words of gratitude go to parents, to grandparents, to the partners and friends who supported and encouraged you to attend University College in the first place, to enroll in this program. For some, it might have meant that your beloved youngster told you, hey, I'm going to live abroad, I'm going to Tilburg, without you having no clear outlook on what it would actually mean to go to university, or maybe also your child had no idea what was lying ahead of them, but you supported them. That has been crucial. I would also take a moment to put our staff in the spotlight. A big thank you to all of our core staff, listed on the slide, as well as the large group of lecturers and supervisors that teach in our liberal arts and sciences program. There is a saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and this saying is used to explain that it takes an entire community to interact with children in order for them to grow up in a safe and a healthy environment. And you might say that the same applies to college, to university, as the interactions with the numerous teachers are overwhelming. There are easily over 100 lecturers and supervisors in our program that contribute, and they go the extra mile to guide the students, to challenge them, and to support them when they are going through hard times. Join me in an applause for everybody who contributed and supported our students. We will now continue with granting the awards. And it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tassel, who is our Academic Director and Vice Dean of the University College Tilburg, who will announce the winners.
Welcome and a good afternoon. Today I have the honor to present the award ceremony, and I will hand out 2 awards. The Willem Witteveen Thesis Award and the highest GPA Award. The Thesis Award is named after the late founding father of our University College, Professor Willem Witteveen. When a few years back, in 2014, flight MH17 was brought down over eastern Ukraine, Willem Witteveen was one of the victims. That day, he was traveling from Amsterdam to his holiday destination, together with his wife and his daughter Marit Witteveen. At that time, Marit was a second-year student in our program, and it is in order to commemorate our dear colleague and his family that we have named the Bachelor Thesis Award after him. Willem Witteveen was a man of many interests, and I think many of you have many interests as well. He had an interest in law, politics, rhetoric, arts, and literature, to name but a few. But we have also known Willem Witteveen as a mild and a generous colleague who saw potential and talent in each and every student. His vision that education is about growth and not only about grades, and that it is about developing yourself as an academic, as a person, and as a citizen, is ingrained in our university college. The tremendous steps that our students have taken during their studies are evidenced most clearly in the bachelor thesis. Writing a thesis, and you all know, it is a challenging and laborious process. It is a road paved with obstacles, and all of our graduates have traveled that road. They've worked through the literature and the writing, and they have worked the hours. The bachelor thesis constitutes the culmination of an academic study, and every one of you has managed to successfully complete that piece of scholarly work. Now, the Willem Witteveen Thesis Award aims to recognize and reward the graduate who managed to do so in the most outstanding manner. An outstanding bachelor thesis addresses a topic that is socially relevant and scientifically relevant. It displays an excellent research methodology and discussion of literature. It demonstrates originality, creativity, clarity of style, and clarity of presentation. In selecting the student who wrote the most outstanding bachelor thesis, the pivotal criterion has been the grade, as the grade is based on all of those above-mentioned criteria. This year, there's one student who stands out as she received a very high grade for her thesis. The awardee of this year's Thesis Award examined the evolving landscape of modern art exhibitions. Traditionally, these exhibitions present art styles in a chronological and a linear manner with a focus on well-known Western artists. In her thesis, the awardee analyzes how museums are adjusting their exhibition practices to the societal demands for more diversity and inclusivity. She concludes that modern art is currently being presented in a more critical and a more engaging manner. Museums increasingly appreciate the diversity of its viewers and also allow for visitors' own interpretations of art. Over summer, the thesis supervisor was so impressed by the work of our awardee that he contacted the program director of the major humanities to express his esteem and appreciation for her scholarly work. According to the supervisor, the awardee was an absolute pleasure to work with. Diligent, attentive, passionate about the topic, and genuinely invested in the research. She was independent, punctual, respectful, and professional in all aspects of the thesis. Congratulations, Theresa Liba-Tisnice. The second award of today's ceremony is the highest GPA award. The award is conferred to the graduate in this class of 2023 with the highest grade point average. This award intends to recognize academic excellence and the ability to consistently perform at the highest level of achievement. The journey to academic excellence is not merely a sprint. Rather, it is a marathon, and it requires dedication, endurance, and commitment. The awardee has an intellectual drive to learn and a particular interest in the fields of philosophy and feminism. She excels in research, and as a member of the Economy of Francisco, she's currently working towards a new inclusive economy. This means that she is not just a good student, but also committed to making a positive impact on society. Congratulations, Ida Marie Munk. That it is now time for me to give the floor to the valedictorians for their valedictory speech, Beatrice Cadeo and Thomas Good, who have been invited by their peers to bring this speech. The floor is yours.
Make myself look intelligent. Hello, and welcome to the University College Tilburg Liberal Arts and Sciences graduation ceremony for the class of 2023. I would like to start by saying a few thank yous. To begin with, a thank you to all the guests, to all those that have made the journey to Tilburg, some from far and wide. Thank you for being here and making this day a special occasion. Secondly, I would like to thank all the staff members that have played a large part in getting us to the finish line and ensuring we graduated here today. I know that we are not the easiest bunch of students to teach. Debates in this course are commonplace, and we LAS students definitely do not lack a desire to offer our own opinion on any topic, and I mean any topic. So thank you, professors, for managing the chaos.
Parents and staff, thank you, because without you, we wouldn't be wearing these awesome gowns and hats today. So can we please give a round of applause to friends, family, and staff? And finally, we would like to thank our fellow students. To all of you, congratulations. My name is Beatrice, and I study in the cognitive neuroscience major. I find all of this very weird to think about. When I was younger, I thought that people finishing up their bachelor would have a clear idea of who they are and who they want to be. Maybe some of us do, but like a great philosopher once said, I feel now we're all happy, free, confused, and lonely at the same time. I'm just kidding. To avoid any plagiarism, that was Taylor Swift.
And my name is Thomas Good, and I studied the law major. I grew up in London all my life until making the decision to study abroad, which I thought at the time was absolutely terrifying. I came to Tilburg with an open mind and a residence permit because of Brexit, but we're not going to get into that. I still had my worries and concerns, of course. However, once having arrived here in Tilburg and meeting these wonderful people sat in front of me, I immediately felt comforted and appreciated. I've met some inspiring, admirable, and quite simply down-to-earth people over these 3 years, and I wanted to thank you all for that. So this is the graduating class of 2023, which means that most of us started in 2020, and I do know that just the mention of that year might send shivers down your spine, so I do apologize. Overall, this bachelor has been a roller coaster. We started during a period that took a toll on everyone. It was a very strange time for all of us. However, much like we humans do, we got on with things. Beginning a bachelor in the midst of a pandemic was not easy for either the staff or for us students, but we got through it one Zoom call at a time.
Most of us were coming straight from our last year of high school and everything that came with it. Online classes, no more seeing your friends every day, no graduation party, no graduation trips. Our brains felt very sleepy by the time we started our first year here at Liberal Arts and Sciences. When Thomas and I were planning for this speech to happen, we wanted to have a theme. And one of the themes we decided upon was growth. I can comfortably say that we have all grown in some capacity as a result of those strange times. From a student's perspective, we were thrown into not only the challenges of independence, but major adversity in the form of isolation, curfews, taking care of your health and well-being, and making sure you're stocked up with toilet paper. That's to name a few. In life, we're required to navigate our own way through hardship. Of course, we're helped by our fellow humans, but ultimately that growth stems from within. Therefore, we can all take strides forward with the confidence that if I did it once, I can do it again. Maybe it would be a stretch to say that our social lives thrived during the first semester. We all look very happy now, but the difficult moments were many, for sure.
When we were finally allowed to have a few classes in person, as some of you may know and the rest can imagine, it was very odd to be entering the university campus lifestyle. I still remember our first lecture in rhetoric in this very building, actually. Seeing everyone was great. Well, actually, I think the best word to use is overstimulating and overwhelming, but also very exciting. The funny thing is that most of us, or most of these people, were only seen on screen up until that point. So interacting with everyone in person felt like meeting celebrities. I must admit, it almost felt like I was starstruck to some degree. What was very noticeable in this experience was individualism. Whether that be someone's style, their music, their differing opinions, and even more broadly, their life experience. Everyone has their quirks and things that make you, you. Although we are all bound as a community under the same bachelor, everyone stood out as individuals first. It was refreshing to see a large number of people who shared a commonality yet displayed their unique selves. The choice of majors further fostered that effort to make ourselves feel ourselves. Now it is amazing to see how each of us have been shaped by their choice.
Third year was also very different from the other two, especially after having been away from one another during the exchange semester. This gave us all a chance to experience change, both those who left and those who stayed. For those of us who left and were facing with moving to a new country, some for the first time, some for the second or more, it was an opportunity to challenge oneself by being placed in uncomfortable situations. For those that remain in Tilburg, I know that times are also challenging, given that many friends had flown the nest and the new life in Tilburg required adapting to. It was weird for everyone to have their own personal experience, both in terms of choosing a minor and of a new environment. Even though we all experienced a different semester, we all came back to the same together. As a close friend of ours once said, "You're back in Tilburg and trees still move the same way." In our final semester, we had a common course with everyone. The differences between us were exacerbated, as everyone would bring forward ideas from their major and minor. This, also from personal experience, brought us together in the common interest to learn from one another and participate in open discussion. Everyone had a role to play, and every opinion was appreciated.
What I feel is particularly unique about this bachelor is that in many of our courses, we were given the space to offer our opinion, fostering independent problem solving and challenging us intellectually. What I'm trying to say is that we should celebrate the individual and in doing so uplift one another as members of a community rather than a society of individuals. If there is anything that liberal arts has taught me, it is although that we would like to put forth our own take on things and win arguments, there is greater value in listening to one another and finding common ground.
What we did learn in LAS is to think for ourselves and about ourselves. We were pushed to think outside the box, have our own opinion, and push it forward in a respectful way. All answers in LAS come to the same conclusion: it depends. And this also translates to our day-to-day life. Most of us, when they chose LAS, still didn't know what major they wanted to do. That's why we're here. Now, after 3 years, many have pushed the decision of what to do next. And when they're asked what we'll do in the future, we'll still answer, it depends. But now we have learned that there really is a place for everyone. We're in charge of your future, and we're sure everyone will find their place. Maybe that some people didn't find it yesterday, and maybe some people tomorrow will still answer, it depends, when they're asked what they're gonna do. But figuring ourselves out is a never-ending journey. I personally know that both Thomas and I are approaching tomorrow with many worries about what is next. However, what is comforting and even exciting is the fact that we can look back at when we're about to embark on this bachelor 3 years ago. Back then, we were confronted with the exact same worries and concerns for the future. And looking at all of you, all of us today, with these gowns and hats, it really seems that it turned out okay. Also, now we have each other, people we spent 3 years or more with, and shared this past and present.
As a result of this wonderful 3-year experience, I tried to lead my life with the idea that there is something interesting to be learned from anyone you meet. I've had the pleasure of witnessing the change and growth in many of the friends that I've made here in Tilburg, and I can honestly say that I'm excited for what is to come. There are some incredibly intelligent, genuine, and kind-hearted people in this room with great potential, and I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. It will be interesting to see where we all end up, and I do look forward to a good old-fashioned interdisciplinary discussion with many of you in the future.
So in reality, these 3 years I've learned a lot. And now being happy, free, confused, and lonely at the same time doesn't seem so scary anymore. We wish you all the best of luck in your future adventures and advise you to keep being your wonderful selves as you have a lot to bring to the table. Congratulations for graduating in the Liberal Arts and Sciences Bachelor. Gefeliciteerd met het behalen van je bachelor in Liberal Arts and Sciences.
You are now alumni of liberal arts and sciences, and everywhere that you will go, you will bring a bit of the University College Tilburg with you. That means that you represent our college, our university, in a wide range of futures that you will affect with that background many different people. Many of you will pursue a career in a master program, a very diverse range of master programs, as I understood so far. And it's interesting that this is such a diverse range. Many students, they enter the liberal arts and sciences program because you find a lot of topics of interest. And for that, I hear students being very critical on themselves. I don't know what to choose. Suggesting that having a lot of different interests, that having difficulties to choose is a shortcoming. With these final words, I want to make a plea for the exact opposite. Having different interests and a willingness to pursue a broad outlook on the world is a quality. It is an asset that you should cherish, that helps you to continue learning, also way further ahead in your future. Hence, it is also a skill, a competence, that can be learned through practice and through nourishing. A skill that can also be labeled as open-mindedness. Open-mindedness can be defined as the willingness to explore and accept ideas, opinions, beliefs, behaviors that may appear unusual at first glance, and that are maybe also very different from your own of what you have learned in the past. This as opposed to narrow-mindedness, which is widely present, unfortunately also within universities. And let me share a personal experience with you. I have different backgrounds. I've worked in different fields, a total of 8 departments and 6 universities. I started off in gender studies in the health ethics and the philosophy department, followed by working in public health, in social medicine, in psychology, in communication science and consumer science. Until I got the opportunity to build an interdisciplinary department where I was allowed to cover thematic subjects of poverty, health, food, climate change, without having to acknowledge a disciplinary background. Yet at all those different places that I went to, I came across people who apparently felt a certain need to tell me what kind of scholar I was, and also particularly what I was not, in their view. In the medicine department, they said, oh, you're not an epidemiologist, you're a psychologist. And when I was working in psychology, I was told that I was a health scientist and not a psychologist. When working in communication science, my colleagues said, oh, you're from the positivist approach, you do not understand social constructivism. I've always been surprised by this desire to define persons through the disciplines through which they are looking at the world, without looking at their specific skills, their mindsets, their competencies. But that we want to put the world and people in particular into boxes is very understandable. Living in a bubble or in an ivory tower, as it is also sometimes referred to by members of society, is very comforting. It feels safe to surround yourself with people who think exactly like you. That's also why in the workforce people like to hire people like themselves. We prefer those who look the most like us. It is a very natural tendency, a human tendency, and although maybe surprising, also academics are human beings. They have the same innate tendency. Humans generally like people better who have the same knowledge, who have the same normative beliefs, and who put on similar glasses to view the world around them. It's easy because it makes the world less complex when we all see exactly the same. Discarding information or ignoring information that does not fit your worldview is less scary than acknowledging that there is so much that you don't know yet, or that would even look very different if you put on a different set of glasses. Then how to nourish the skill of open-mindedness that I think is classic for a liberal arts and science student. I want to stress the importance of engaging in conversations, not necessarily debates, although I learned that you're very good in debates. Debates are about putting an argument forward, about seeking to persuade others, to overrule others, and to change their opinion. Have your own opinion changed by others. Try to engage in a dialogue where the goal is to enrich your own point of view, especially with those who do have a different opinion, who have a very different life world of your own. Actively searching for those opinions, beliefs, behaviors that feel distant to your own. And if you do that over and over again, your open-mindedness as a skill will grow. It grows when you will be able to listen instead of talking, and it grows when you start asking questions rather than answering questions. Dear graduates, the fact that all of you, every single one of you, is so broadly interested, so engaged with societal issues, brings you in the excellent position to develop this open-mindedness and to spread open-mindedness. In a polarizing world, where more than ever debates can become toxic and drive people apart from one another, we need those people who can bridge different views and opinions and can take different stances. Whenever you find yourself again in the place where you criticize yourself for having difficulties to choose, I hope that you will think back of the program and of today. Realize that you do make choices. You decide to think what you want to think, to believe what you want to believe, and to explore what you want to explore. You can choose to grant yourself this freedom of mind. You can also choose not to choose. You already chose through attending this college, that you will be willing to learn about very different viewpoints and different disciplines. That's important. You have displayed that you chose to be curious, that you're courageous, and you chose to grow open-mindedness. With that, I want to close this ceremony. And after this ceremony ends, I want to invite all of you to have a nice toast together at the Veranda foyer. We can all join there now. Thank you.